What is up, awesome people? So in the last few videos I've been flying the Mobula 704 and I think I've been crashing it once too many times, and it's kind of giving me weird range issues, so I'm just gonna make a swap of the flight controller. So the many crashes could have affected the hardware of the flight controller, so hence the reason why I'm changing the flight controller in the first place. So I've had this frame of the Mobula 704 swapped, and hence the reason why my frame is actually white. Also, I've had the air unit wires tucked underneath the air unit itself, so it looks much neater than with the wires sticking out all over the place, and also made sure that the wires do not impede the propellers in any way. I've also pulled out the ELRS copper antenna so that I could get better reception, but still, for some weird reason, after all that crashes, I kind of get a very short range for the Express LRS. And this was a crazy F405 HD from Happymodel that I got back when I was at their factory. So basically I'm just doing an FC replacement, and we'll take a look at the flight controller as well. NANI? Okay, so I think I grabbed the wrong flight controller, and this one's actually labeled as Crux F405 HD, and doesn't it look kind of like the X1 flight controller? I think this is a flight controller meant for the Crux 35. Thankfully I have a spare Mobula 8 that hasn't been flying, so I'm going to replace this flight controller with the Mobula 704 because it is the same flight controller. Now there are a couple of things to note if you're using an external receiver other than the built-in Express LRS, and you got to desolder the pads meant for TX2 and RX2, and you can check that information out in the links down below, and that will bring you to the Happymodel website. Also, the way you mount the canopy will actually cause this particular antenna to pop right out, so make sure that you have the canopy mounted properly and the wires stuck carefully so that it doesn't pop out from the IPEX connector. Now this flight controller is a 12 amp BL Heli S ESC, and it is 1 to 2S. Of course it gives you more UARTs because it is an F405 and not an F401. And with BL Heli S you could actually flash Bluejay, and this actually comes with the Bluejay pre-installed, so you don't really need to do much about it. Now the motors are the RS1102 10,000 kV, and these are rated for 1 to 2S. Just so you know, the original Mobula 7 comes with an 0802 motor or 1002 motors depending on the model that you get, because I think the 1002 motors are the ones on the Mob Lite 7. And this is actually to compensate the bigger props that comes with the Mobula 704. These are 45mm props. Now the thing I love about this crazy F405 HD is the fact that it has this pin, so you can just plug in the DJI air unit into the flight controller. So depending on the model, you can actually use the DJI radio to bind together with the VTX. So I'm just gonna plug in the O4 Lite to the F405, and just to make sure that all the wires are tucked nicely, and also make sure that the camera and canopy is hard mounted so that there are no vibrations or jellos that will appear on your video. This camera is really sensitive, and any tiny vibrations will be picked up by the camera. And if you're wondering why there isn't a listing of the Mobula 704, and that's because the Mobula 704 is all sold out, so do keep your eye out in case it's available again, as the O4 Air Unit and the O4 Air Unit Pro is also hard to come by these days as they get sold out really fast. Alright, so after a quick check of the antennas and the motor wires to make sure that everything is in working order, as well as on Betaflight, just making sure that all the settings and PIDs are the exact ones that are being used on the Mobula 704. Well, except for maybe the rates, I've changed the rates to the way I would personally prefer it. And it looks like it's all good, so let's head out to the field. that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and till the next one, thank you all for watching and see you guys again soon. Ciao.